have to see if it's going or not, motherfucker. Oh shit. Wait, fuck. Let's see. All right, sweet, cool. All right, guys, we're gonna do a real quick market review. This is for different time zone individuals. We're over here in Texas, San Antonio, Texas, to be exact, and this is really for the UK and those guys. But let me go ahead and shoot this link to them. See if I can find it. I'm not sure. Maybe this one? I don't know if it's going to do it for them or not. See what it does if I put it in there. Take me to it. Sorry, guys, I'm testing. I haven't done a live stream in a while. No, this is not going to do it. What about this? We'll do YouTube. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, guys. It might be a little bit. I'm still trying to get this going. So I could share this one. There it is. Copy. Y'all get to see everything. Okay. Sweet. All right. Let me pop open my beer. We'll get going. Okay. All right, guys. So just as this is loading up, actually, I'm gonna give some time. Hold on, we'll give some time here. Oh, that was so brutal. That was so brutal. Let's see what else were we looking at. Up here with our people. All right. Okay. Let me wait till we get some more people. Now, if you guys have questions, there should be somewhere on the left or the right hand side or somewhere down below where you can put live questions and I can see them. If you guys have questions, obviously I can put them down there and I will open up my my phone app and watch and see if you watch for your questions. If you guys have questions, okay. Okay, let's see. Give me a minute, guys. channel. All right, cool. I got it up. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I said we're going to start at 5, so we'll kind of start nice and slow. I'm going to go ahead and leave this video up after I'm done with it. So it's going to be available on the YouTube channel. You guys just have to look for the title, which is UK webinar, something along those lines. I might consider doing this more often because we're starting to get quite a different variety of individuals from different places. So, obviously when I do my usual webinars, it's like 2, 3, or 4 a.m., in different places of the world that are, that people, including people in our community. So I want to be fair to them as well. So there is going to be a chat, guys. You guys can go ahead and ask questions on that chat, and I'll keep my eye on it, okay? But let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about before we do charts is it's been a rough 2 weeks, okay? It's been a really rough 2 weeks. I'm keeping track of, everyone's trading, and it's just been a rough one, man. Like a lot of crazy things have happened recently, a lot of news, a lot of consolidation in the markets and stuff. And it's still really hard to determine exactly like what we're trying to do or where the markets are trying to go. So I do have about 3 key pairs that I've been looking at. We did attempt to trade a few of them, but they didn't go our way. And, we are down right now. We are on a drawdown drawdown right now. So, really took a step back, letting these markets kind of do what they do. And that's what a lot of people mess up on is they keep trading. The main thing is, guys, once you kind of reach like a drawdown of say, 10% or 15%, it's better that you just go ahead and step away for a minute. Okay. Because you have to keep in mind, you have so much equity still to trade with. But, if the markets are bad and you're doing all your analysis and you're following all your rules and you're still losing that many trades, it's better just to stay away for a while, because most likely the market conditions are not where they're supposed to be. And that doesn't help you at all. So, let's go ahead and like I said, let's go ahead and dive into these charts now that it's a little closer to 5. Okay, so here's a couple main ones. I like the AUD, JPY, and the AUD USD. So we'll start with those first. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, we actually did start with we did actually enter a very nice trade. It made us a lot of money, ton of pips, great execution. We were able to, discover this trade before it even happened. And we wrote down some things here, but basically, what was going on was we went onto the daily chart and we saw that there was a very interesting area of interest that was actually occurring at the moment we were looking at the charts. So as you can see, I have this black line here, guys. That's going to be our support/resistance line. And looking back, there's been a lot of good bounces off of that line, very strong, coming down, bouncing off, coming all the way back up, breaking through, coming back up and bouncing off pretty hard. And it has a history of doing that. So, we were really excited to get into that trade. And then on top of that, we saw weakness in these candles here, some dojis. And of course, we entered right at that point and just made buku bucks on that one. Hit our take profit. It was all good. I expected this market to continue. I really was thinking that this market may just pull back kind of into this lower support and then continue to the downside. But it ended up coming back up, and maybe what it's doing is it's coming back up for a double tap, right? What do you call that? A double top. So I was thinking, okay, cool. It may be coming back up for a double top, and I'm seeing early signs of weakness, guys. Look at this candlestick right here. Look how large the wick is. Okay, that's a good initial reaction from the market that area is not to be touched. Right, so it's reaching back up where this very strong resistance level is, and it bounced off real nice, but that wasn't it, guys. It's coming back for more. It wants to see how far I can get before it actually stops. Right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to let this market play out. maybe let it continue up a little bit. We did take a trade on it, a tester trade, because I thought maybe, maybe that was it. Maybe that rejection was going to be it. But maybe it wants to come up a little further, come up and officially reach that resistance area. And when it does, we'll go ahead and look and see if we can find some kind of weakness or some kind of signal, like a head and shoulders or a double top or something of that nature. Another one of these would be ideal because these are the easiest to trade. I mean, they're just almost guaranteed successful trades, but we'll have to see, guys. It's a little more choppy than usual. I'm not used to this type of market reaction, right? Usually it's a little more flush, it's a little more fluent, but this one's all kind of all over the place. So we'll let it play out a little more, and as it moves probably further up, we'll look for more reason to sell. And at the very least, we can sell. When it does reach back up here, and we do get that confirmation that it's showing a lot of weakness and it may pull back down, we can at least sell it right back into this previous target that we did way before. We could sell it in there. That's where that strong area is, and then if we see weakness here, it may be forming like a head and shoulders, and we can trade the buy. But for right now, we're looking for this market to continue up, reach this resistance finally, and go ahead and take that sell, take that risk, and see what we can do. Okay, so that's my next, that's where I have my eye right now. It's not tradable at the moment. We're just going to go ahead and wait for it, see what happens. The percentage of it doing what we think is higher than, than doing the opposite. So we'll just wait on that. Okay, AUD/USD. Very interesting. Okay, here's a simple analysis on it. So right now, this is the daily. Okay, let me zoom back in. So what I did was I identified this double top right. You can see our black line here. That's going to be our double top. Very, very strong daily resistance area. And as you can see, every time it hit that area, it bounced off and sold off very hard from that area twice already. And, it's been quite interesting. But at the same time, we've been in this upwards trend. Okay, so, again, we're not exactly sure on what the market wants to do. But it's been kind of moving to the downside ever since. And now this is my analysis on this. Okay, as you can see here, let's draw this out a little more. Okay, so we're aware, right, that we're in this, in this very long-term upward trend. But history tells that, even in a trend, like say there's a channel, an upwards channel, or an upwards trend. Those double tops, those long-term double tops, like daily double tops and stuff like that, those usually will identify your reversals, right? They'll give you that notification of a reversal. So that's what I'm really looking at. And the market has been trending nicely down ever since it hit that. So it popped down real hard, tried to come back up. It was just a retest, came down again, back up, came down again, back up. So, the next move, if we go by patterns, right, is what? Down. So again, we did sell this market as well. I'm going to show you guys what it did. It did a freak move on us. It was nasty. So, we did reach kind of that high. So we sold it at that point. Okay. We sold it right in here. It was actually right here at the top. Let me see if I can go on the bottom. Okay, so we sold it right here, right? Little double top in here, but it's still within that channel. I saw like a little head and shoulders pattern. We were at the top of our range within that channel. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's sell this thing off and see what happens. So we sell it off right around here, and, it breaks that little channel. I'm like, sweet, it should go. And then boom, guess what? False breakout. Breaks all the way across back into the wedge, and then even outside of the other side of the wedge. I mean, it was just a freak move. So usually when things like that happen, the market, it's all market conditions, right? It could be news, it could be events going on in the world. I know that Syria just got bombed by the U.S. I'm sure there's so much controversy with other countries, including Russia. Those are big things. Those make a big impact. They may not come out with news about it, but they do make an impact because you have to remember that this market is controlled by like massive banks, central banks, and then the people. So it's just all these things, who we're doing business with. Are we trading properly? Is everything going smoothly? And when things are not going smoothly in our economy or in the world, the markets reflect. It's really weird, but that's just how they go. It reflects. It's literally the markets. These candlesticks are literally the health of the different countries, right? And you can see it in the market. So with all this erratic activity, all this craziness, it reflects on what's going on in the economies of the world. So, I decided, okay, you know what? We're getting false breakouts. A lot of weird things are going on. I'm going to take a break from the market. But again, something to keep your eye on. If we zoom back out, remember, we're still in this channel and we're at the top of our range here. Okay, so this market, if it gives us reason, if it gives us a lot of weakness or shows us something, you got a little double top or a little M pattern here. You got like a nice spike and then a spike back down, spike up and then spike down. So that's a pretty hard rejection. This one, we can end up kind of double topping here and then moving down and making our way down to a lower level. But as of right now, it's just too crazy. I don't like it. I don't want to get involved because we've already been on a drawdown and I'm not trying to continue that. I want to wait for a prime grade A opportunity. And a lot of times getting those opportunities means you're waiting. You have to have a lot of patience, okay? So that's what I'm looking at there. So we're still watching that and seeing what that's going to do. Let's see, anything on it? Oh, okay. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so here's kind of some connections here. So it looks like the market kind of is also still in this consolidation state, just kind of moving sideways. Again, guys, to be honest with you, we shouldn't even be trading these. We shouldn't be trading any types of consolidations unless they're wide enough and if we can get into a position where it continues with the trend. So, for instance, right, this market previously was moving to the upside, right? So what I would want is I would want this market to move up, hit its range, come down, come up, and show us the range, kind of show us where the range is, right? So it gives us a double top here, cool. Oh, okay, interesting. It gives us a double bottom now. So we start to form that, zigzag consolidation sideways movement. All right. So I'm kind of starting to see that, and as more formations become available, we start to see little trends and stuff like that. So for instance, once we saw that little range, we see that we're kind of tightening up here and we're kind of creating like a wedge. We could have been looking, to buy this at some point because before this consolidation, it was going very bullish, right? So the market was bullish before this. So as it being a consolidation, what does consolidation usually mean? It means a continuation, right? So consolidation means continuation. So that's kind of like, that's where you want to be. So once you see that form, that sideways movement form, you want to catch it at the bottom and buy it up. You don't want to get in a position where you have to sell an upwards trend consolidation. You want to be able to buy this consolidation because before it was a consolidation, it was an upwards trend. So you want to stick with that trend overall. So the most ideal for us would be for this market to come all the way back down here and take a shot at buying this market up until here. And that's our range. Okay. And that can be like 200 pips. So we'll let this market kind of play out. If anything, if this market decides it wants to break out of this consolidation to the upside at least we know where our support is. So we can let it break. We'll let it retest. So it'll look like something like this. So say it comes down here a little more, or even if it comes all the way down here, wherever it goes, right? It comes, it breaks out, and then it pulls back right into our support, because this is where, when the market does pull back, this is where it's going to stop, right here where this black line is. It's going to stop right there, and that's going to be our buying area. So if we can get another opportunity to buy down here, great, we'll do it. And then as it continues, and if we break above the structure, this resistance, we'll wait for that pullback. Once we hit our target area, we'll buy again. We'll have 2 trades in there, and we'll be on our way to the money. So it's all about being patient, guys. The market is not ready to be traded. There's a lot of things going on. They're incomplete markets. They're not complete structures. We can't and really shouldn't be trading them. So it's better if we just stay away for right now. Let's see. That's ugly. Look at this. It's just kind of like flat. Just flatness. There's no hard moves. There's nothing. It's just flat. It's in the middle of nowhere. We did have a range here, as you can see. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, all the way sideways, up, down, up, down. It broke out, and then it broke right back in, and we're like right in the middle of this consolidation. That's literally the ugliest chart you will ever see, is this type of stuff here. It's in the middle of a consolidation. Don't even touch it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, GBP was interesting, yeah. So GBP had that big drop. We had a lot. It looks like we were like really scoping it out. It looks like it had like a nice little double top here. It kind of breached the double top, but it looks like it was just kind of a false break to the upside, and then it came right back in. There was heavy news on GBP, so I bet you GBP JPY looks similar. So let's see. So big move on GBP USD. I bet you GBP JPY looks similar. Yep, look, it looks exactly the same. Okay, and that's just all due to news, GBP news. Okay, gold. Let's see what gold looks like on the daily. Any nice trending? See, this one's interesting. It's at the top of its range, but again, what was the trend before it started ranging sideways? It was an uptrend, right? I don't necessarily want to sell this market. But, it does have a lot of resistance looking left. It looks like there's a good resistance area, and we're kind of approaching it. If we go down in the time frames here, let's see. So we'll just put it for fun. We'll put like a little trend line here just for fun, just to kind of keep an eye on it. It would have to be like right there. So, maybe if we breach here or whatever, but it looks like it's still kind of moving sideways. Now, if we start breaching and we kind of break this line and we start going lower and lower and lower, or even just lower than, previous price action or previous price, I guess to say, like if we go below this wick here and we close below and we kind of pull back, that may be the beginning of a downtrend. And we may be able to sell it off because of all that resistance. But again, I'm not really sure yet. It's still a little ugly. All of this doesn't make a lot of sense. And, when you've been looking at charts for 4 years, you'll kind of understand. Let's see. Okay. So gold is, still, again, a waiting game on that one. Euro USD, I have an interesting analysis on this one. I would like to eventually buy Euro USD. So as you can see, we've been in this nice uptrend. We had some pullbacks, but we have a solid trend line as well. It's a nice flag pattern going on right here. So I would like to see it breach and break that. Not exactly sure, though. It gets a little ugly as we go down. Let's see if I can clear it up a little bit. So maybe we can remove that. That's a support that we need. We don't necessarily need this anymore, so we can delete that. Okay, so now you can see a little clearer. We have our support here. We're at the top of our range. on this wedge, but I would love for this market to come down one more time, because if this market come down one more time closer to the bottom of this range of the wedge, I'm going to buy it up and just hold it. I'll keep my stop losses below the previous structure, and we'll just let it ride out. Chances are this market, Euro USD, is going to explode, right? Either to the upside or to the downside, but we'll be using proper price action and stop loss usage properly. So we'll wait for this market to come down a little more. I just want it to come down a little more, man. It looks like it might too. I don't know. Like, here's a tiny little here's its range, right? So we can kind of like make our way up and then break down. Boom. If we can get down here, guys, I'm going to buy it up and we're just going to hold on to it. I'll put my stop loss below this previous structure outside of the wedge to give us extra support and extra defense. And we'll just watch it and see how it goes. Hopefully we can catch that massive move that I know is brewing up, ready to happen. So we'll keep this up here with our important trades. All right. So that's pretty much it. That's going to be it for the market review, guys. I did the UK one for you all. Obviously, I wanted a UK time because it gets kind of late. And even right now, it's probably about 11 o'clock for you guys. So I hope that helped. But let's see. Do you guys have any questions? Let's see. Did I say 5? So 6, 11, yeah. Should be about right. Yeah, so I'm thinking next week we're looking to score like a solid 10 or 15% return on investment. I don't like to give out numbers because that's just never, it's just not an accurate thing to do. But there's so many opportunities, but there's none that we can execute this week. It just sucks. But yeah, it's part of it. It's part of it. You have to be patient. You have to have patience for this stuff, man. I just recommend that you find other ways to use your time. When there's something not in the market, it's best just to go to the gym or hang out with some buddies or whatever you want to do. Just get away from the charts because, the more you look at the charts, it's like, you go to a damn casino or you go to a bar and you're like, I'm not going to drink or I'm not going to gamble. Yeah, but you're there for like an hour or 2 hours and, everyone's like drinking or gambling or having a good time. And eventually you're going to get in there and do it. So it's better just to stay away. You do your analysis, you follow your rules. You can't find anything, just get out, man. Just go do something else, come back later the next day or whatever. Look again, and same thing. If you find some grade A stuff, perfect. You're patient. You earn that with your patience. But it's not always like that. Okay, well, let me see. I don't see any questions, so I think the chart looks unpredictable because of the consolidation. So, are you going to use a buy limit order for the trade? Okay, Peter. So let me answer your question. When placing stop losses, or I'm sorry, not stop losses, pending orders. As for, what'd you say, a buy limit or a buy, a sell limit, or vice versa. I can do that. I just don't like to. Now you could if you like to do that, but for me, I look at the charts every single day. Okay. Now, if it's getting to a point where, it's going to hit it, overnight, right? Say like I'm about to go to bed and I see that the market is so close to our target area, then I'll place that's pending order. But if, I'm pretty much on the charts, every 3 or 4 hours. So I never really miss anything as long as I'm looking at the chart. Especially if I'm like for sure keeping my eye on something. One thing you can do is you can set alerts, right? Like, whatever you want to do. I know that this platform, the TradingView, you can set alerts. So if I say, let's see, let's see. Okay, here, we'll do this one. So let's just say I want an alert when the market gets back up to about 84.400, right? Because that's where I'm going to want to, sell off again. I can go here and right click on the chart and say, or actually right here. So I can put like right there, I can say add alert for 84,400. And when it reaches that, it'll send me like a email. Okay, and once you have an account with these guys, it's free to set up. You get that email right away, and you'll know. But so you'll never miss a beat. But I don't like to keep pending orders up too long, just because I'm always on the charts, and another reason is because every trade I take it on that master account, because that master account is connected to my personal account, but everyone else is in ETC. So, and there's been issues in the past where pending orders don't execute for our customers. So they miss out on really big profit trades. So I'd rather like take the trade instant execution style, and so everyone gets it and there's never a problem. So that's another main reason why. But if you want to do that and exercise that, I think it's a great idea. Just set those alerts. You can even do them on MetaTrader 4 on the app on the phone. And that's a good way to do it as well. Let's see. Can we check? Can we check? I have a question. I'm interested on your view on GBP/JPY daily for the day or week chart. Okay, let's do GBP/JPY real quick. GJ. So we'll start with the daily like always. Let's clean it up, yeah? Let's clean this shit up. Man, there were so many good trades. So many good trades. All this stuff, this is all like so much action. Loved it. But unfortunately, markets have dry spells also. All right, so, okay, cool. Now it's fresh and brand new. All right, so let's go ahead and start this out. Okay, first thing I see is the trend, right? So let's go ahead and draw that out first. So I like to put the arrow just because it signifies the way that we're going. All right. There you go. Perfect little trend. Okay. And then what are we doing? Now we're looking for support and resistance, right? So we kind of have our trend. As you can see, this market has exploded off of this trend line to the upside, just like it's supposed to do. But here's some things that I also see on this daily chart. I see a pretty nice resistance area. Okay, here's one touch, here's two touch, here's three touch, goes above, it comes down and touches it again, rejects again to the top, breaks through, okay, and now we're back up at it and we're seeing that rejection. So it's a decent little resistance, It's not bad at all. Okay, now can we label any other ones? Absolutely. Look at that beauty. That was a beautiful support. Okay, so now we got a range, right? So for one, we're kind of seeing like a head and shoulders pattern type of thing. It looks like we have about a shoulder here, a potential shoulder here, and a crown head here. Okay, it broke above, but it came right back in. So that's those kind of suck because they're basically false breakouts, but at the same time, they're good for long term because you get to kind of get those types of formations. So here's a little weird sombrero or cowboy hat, whatever you want to call it, or head and shoulders, cowboy hat, whatever you want to, however you want to say it. So now that we know that, let's go ahead and dig a little more into the details. Okay, so here's something that I see right off the bat. As I focus more on the current area where the market and price is, obviously this is a very significant resistance. Okay, we did break above, but we kind of consolidated and broke right back in it. So that is always a telltale sign that the market is not strong enough to continue to trend that way. Okay, so it rejected 3 times, right? So one rejection, boom, down to the downside. Another try, boom, reject, back to the downside. Okay, last try to the upside, and then boom, very hard rejection, and we're breaking back below that support, right? And notice where that market rejected back to, right at 152.850, right? Twice. It came back. It wasn't strong enough to go up more, so it came back and it held right here. Okay, tried again, held again right there. Tried one last time, and then boom, the market was strong enough to say, okay, or at least the bigger institutional level guys and the big banks put in enough equity to finally say, okay, now, we got all these guys out. We're going to go ahead and move this market back down at this point. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, so on a long-term view, it looks like this market could actually move its way back down, and at least we have a decent range to go off of. Now, I got to place one more support. Okay, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, and right here. Okay, we just need to know those main supports. And notice how I didn't put a bunch of lines. There's just 3 lines, and they're almost equally apart, which is really good because now we have a large range that we could work with. Okay, so what I noticed on that 4-hour, massive rejection and a break in a new low, right? A new low. Now let's go lower. Okay, so after that break, okay, we pull back, all right, and we're looking, it almost pulled back to the full, all the way back up into that resistance. Now, what we may be seeing, what could happen is a lot of times what happens after a big break is you get this thing called a flag pattern. Okay, where this market moves kind of sideways and then it breaks out about 3/4 of the way in. Boom, it breaks out. And usually when it breaks out, it goes the same length as the previous move. So we would be expecting a move of about, if it broke around right here, we'd be expecting a move to around right here. Okay, that's where we'd be expecting a move. All right, so chances are, or what we want to do, right, we do want to give this a shot. We do want to sell this market, not right now, but we do want to give this market a shot on the sell because it gave us multiple confirmations and different signs that this market may continue to the downside. And, again, it would take a lot of force for this market to break back above this very strong price. It would take a lot of force, You see the force that it took to break this one? It would take a lot of force to do the same thing. It's very unlikely. Okay, so what may happen, guys, this is what the market might look like. So, we got it up. Let's make it like black or something, or blue. Okay, so now you can see it a little more, right? Okay, got up, got down. Okay, probably going to go up. And what I want to do at that point is when it does reach the top of the wedge range, I want to sell it at that area. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to put my stop loss above the wall of defense, right? Which is a pretty strong wall. So when we do get to this point, what I want to do is I want to get that as close as I can to the top of that range right here where the end of this arrow ends. I want to enter there, and I want to put my stop loss at least 10 pips above this wall, right? So we would have to initially sacrifice 24 pips plus another 10 pips would be 34 pips or 35 pips. And because it's GJ, I'm going to do 15 pips. So we'll do 40 pips. So right there, that's where my stop loss would be. It'd be right here. It'd be right there, my stop loss. Okay, so that means this market would have to break the wrong way. It would have to break outside of this continuation flag pattern that's supposed to go to the downside. It'd have to break that, go 5 pips up into our wall, okay? And then after it hits our wall, it has to break another 15 pips. Okay, it's so unlikely that it probably won't happen. It's possible, but it probably won't happen. So that's my take on GJ. I want to get to the top of our range. This market will go back to the top of our range. So we're looking, if you want to place a sell limit right here, like towards the middle at about, what is that price? 152,500, you can. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put an alert there because, like I said, for auto trader purposes, I need to buy the service. So the free one, you can only get 2 alerts. So I don't need the other one. I don't need this. Wait, which one was it? Yeah, I don't need that one. Yes. So I'm going to put the, 152,500. Okay, so wait, what? Man, I might have to buy it. Well, anyways, you can put an alert. You should be able to get 1 or 2 alerts, and you can put one, right there at 152,500, or you can obviously put a sell limit if you want, and it should catch it. So it's completely up to you. Like I said, for the auto trader purposes, I try to instant execution every trade so we don't have any issues for our customers. But for you guys, you're absolutely welcome to, on your own accounts, place that order as it goes. And it looks like a promising trade. So go ahead and do that if you want to. And that's it for GJ. Let me see if there's any other questions. Do you still have it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could still, Marvin, I could still help you with your... thing. I'm gonna set up Martin, I'm gonna set up a Zoom call so we can do it on there. I can't do it on here for you. I have to do it on the Zoom call. So I'll get with you right after this. So do you normally do market execution? Yes, Peter, I do. The reason is, like I said, because I need to make sure that all of our customers on the auto trader are getting the actual trade. Pending orders for some reason don't always go through for them, and a lot of people have been pissed because they didn't, we make like 10% profit on one trade and they never got it. So I don't like that. And yes, always ride the trend. Always try to go with that trend. So, anytime you're trading a consolidation or any type of pattern or whatever it may be, just, be aware of what the trend was previous to that pattern. Of course, if it's a consolidation. Now, if you're looking at like a head and shoulders or, a double top or something, that's different. Those are reversal patterns. But if you're looking at like a wedge, a flag pattern, a channel, whatever it may be, a lot of times those are going to be your continuation patterns. Okay. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me double check the YouTube and make sure nobody has questions. And if y'all don't, we're done. That's it. Let's see. Okay. I hope I was able to answer a lot. Let's see. Emperor 4. What do you think of GBP JPY day and week? Oh, okay, so that was you, Martin? Cool. Yeah, we went over that just now, so I'm glad we got that in. Okay, that's it. Sweet. I got the other webinar, that I have to do in about an hour and a half. I'll probably go over the same things, but I hope this helped you guys. I'm about to get on a webinar to help one of these guys out with their auto trader, make sure it's set up properly, and that's it. I can't promise any trades this week. Like I said, whatever pending orders that I had just told you guys that you could put, go for it. But as of right now, at this very moment, there's no trades that can be taken profitably. So we're going to go ahead and just wait on that. All right. I will see you guys at the end of this week and then the beginning of next week. Y'all have a good one. Rest easy. Make sure to put in the work, and we'll see you guys soon.